Hello, I'm Commissioner Carl O'Callaghan of the Western Australia Police. Driving laws in Western Australia are an important issue for road safety. I feel confident to say we all want to make driving on our roads a safe experience for ourselves, for our children, and for our community as a whole. Safe driving, however, includes more than practicing safe driving techniques and obeying traffic laws. It also includes having the proper legal authority to drive. The video you're about to see is an educational guide designed to help people, in particular people from non-English speaking backgrounds, to understand the laws of Western Australia as they relate to learners' permits and driving licences. The video also looks at a number of common problems about driving, but does not contain information about commercial vehicles, motorcycles, mopeds, trucks or taxis. This video was produced by the Northern Suburbs Community Legal Centre in cooperation with the Western Australia Police, the Western Australia Department of Transport and the Western Australia Office of Multicultural Interests. On behalf of these organisations, I hope this video assists you in becoming a safe and legal driver in our community.
The importance of a valid driver's licence or learner's permit.
In Western Australia, you cannot drive without a valid driver's licence or learner's permit. If you do so, this could be the end result of your vehicle.
There are a range of consequences and penalties that may apply if you do not obey these laws. You may receive a fine. You may receive a demerit point suspension. You may be summoned to court. You may receive a criminal record. You may receive a licence suspension. And the end result, you may receive a term of imprisonment.
Okay, I don't know, it was illegal.
In relation to the laws and driving your vehicle, there are no excuses. You cannot say that you did not understand them or did not know.
The following scenarios are common excuses that are not accepted by law. I needed to go to work is not an excuse under the law. I need to take my wife and children to a doctor's appointment is not an excuse under the law. Please note, in some circumstances, a genuine emergency or life-threatening situation may excuse you for driving without a valid driver's licence. I need to take my children to school or daycare is not an excuse under the law. Failure to read an infringement notice or any other official documentation is not an excuse under the law.
Your responsibilities in relation to infringements and fine payments and changes of address. Infringement notices and fines may be issued by police, local government and various other agencies for speeding, illegal parking and many other matters of law. You can also be issued with a summons to attend court for more serious driving related offences. Infringements and summonses can also be given to you via the post. Thus it is your responsibility to keep your address updated with the licensing branch of the Department of Transport and with other government departments. If you don't respond to such notices in your mail or don't pay the fine or infringement by the due date, the matter is then referred to the Fines Enforcement Registry. The Fines Enforcement Registry is the government collection agency responsible for taking further actions to recover outstanding fines and infringements. If this happens to you, you will have to pay more money and you could lose your driver's licence even if the fine was not traffic related.
Overseas driver's licences, 3 months only. You cannot drive on your overseas driver's licence after 3 months of being granted permanent residency.
Do you have your driver's licence with you at the moment?
You have 3 months in which you can drive on your current valid overseas driver's licence. After 3 months, you will be considered unlicensed unless you get a Western Australian driver's licence.
Some countries are known as recognised countries. If you hold a driver's licence from these places, you may be exempt from doing a practical driving assessment or theory test. Check with the department to see if you're from a recognised country.
In Western Australia, you cannot drive without a valid driver's licence or learner's permit.
Getting a learner's permit and provisional licence. How do I get legal authority to drive? In Western Australia, there are two main phases. There's learner drivers who drive around with the yellow L plates, and provisional drivers who have the red and green P plates on their car. The Department of Transport has identified a 6-step process for getting your learner's permit and provisional licence. Step 1. Take the theory test, pay your fees, and get your learner's permit. You can apply for a learner's permit at any licensing centre or regional licensing agent anytime after you turn 16.
Good morning, can I help you?
Morning, I'm here to get my learner's permit.
Just at the ticket machine here,
Yeah.
you choose the driver's licences and then learner's permit. Please just take a seat and your number will be called soon.
Thank you.
Before you are issued with a learner's permit, however, you will have to pay some fees and pass a theory test.
Ticket number B2. Please proceed to counter 5.
Hello, how can I help you?
Hey, I'm here to get my learner's permit.
Sure, do you have primary ID, secondary ID and proof of where you live?
Yep.
Sure, I'll just get you to fill in this form over here.
Thanks.
Thanks. That's just $17.40, thank you.
Thanks.
Get you to take your paperwork with you, select on general theory questions and then take another ticket.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
The computerised theory test consists of 30 multiple choice questions on road rules and safe driving procedures. It is strongly recommended you read the Department of Transport's book Drive Safe beforehand and practice the learner's test on their website transport.wa.gov.au/licensing. Once you have passed the theory test, you will have to pay an application fee to get your learner's permit, which will include an entitlement for one practical driving assessment.
Congratulations, you passed. You got 29 out of 30.
Thank you.
It comes to $68.30, thank you.
Step 2. Lessons with an instructor or supervisor. Now that you have your learner's permit, you can begin lessons with a qualified instructor. This can be a licensed driving instructor or a person who currently holds and who has held a driver's license for 4 years or more of a class specified on your actual learner's permit. In other words, you must make sure the person who is supervising your driving lessons has the same class of license as on your permit. Example, a person with a Class R motorcycle driving license cannot supervise you if your learner's permit states it's for a Class C license, a car. You must also display your L plates whenever you are driving. In WA, you may drive on all roads except within the boundaries of Kings Park. Step 3. The practical driving assessment. When you have developed the ability to control your vehicle safely, you can take the practical driving assessment. This assessment involves a driving test whereupon you will be personally tested on your driving skills. You must be at least 16 years and 6 months old to take this assessment. To help you pass the assessment, you should read the booklet called Candidate's Guide to Passing the Practical Driving Assessment. To make a practical driving assessment booking, you must contact the licensing department by phoning 13 11 56 or visit your nearest licensing centre or regional licensing agent.
Anita? Hello Anita, my name's Nigel, I should be your driving assessor today. Have you got primary ID, your permit and a secondary ID? Thank you very much.
My birth certificate and bank card.
Thank you. Now will you be kind enough to sign just there for me please, and just tick one of them 2 boxes if English is your first language. Excellent, thank you very much. Have that back.
Thanks.
Where's your car parked?
Out there.
Shall we go for a drive? Can you just put your left-hand indicator on for me, please?
Sure.
And your right-hand indicator? Could you just put your foot on the brakes, please? Thank you very much. Okay, Anita. Now, during the drive, I will give you instructions in plenty of time. If you're not sure what I've asked you, please ask me to repeat it. I am more than happy to repeat it, but remember you must obey the road rules and regulations that's set in Western Australia. We'll go through a couple of exercises, but I'll explain to you later on when we get out on the drive. If you're not sure, please ask. I'm more than happy to repeat it. During the drive, I'll be writing things down on this sheet. I write both good stuff and negative stuff down. It's just to remind me so I can give you a full briefing at the end of the drive. Please, if you're not sure, ask me. My instructions will be pointed. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, when you're ready, the entrance to the car park is just there. I would like you to exit the car park and turn left, please. Alright, Anita. Now, during the drive, the couple of times we changed lanes and you didn't really look to the right, which is a blind spot check. You need to make more emphasis on looking into the right-hand lane where the vehicle is going. Generally, your driving was nice, so you've been successful today. You've met the standard within Western Australia, so well done. Remember, this is an automatic car.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the licensing centre and we'll get you an as-directed ticket and the girls will process you through. Yeah, there's a ticket there. It'll come up on the computer and the girls will call the counter. Well done, safe driving.
Thank you.
Step 4. Logbook.
I passed my driving test and I'd like to get my logbook, please.
Okay, no worries.
Once you have passed your driving assessment, you can move on to the next step towards getting your provisional license. During this stage, you still have to drive under supervision for a minimum period of 6 months, and you'll also have to maintain a logbook and accumulate a minimum of 25 hours of driving experience across a range of conditions. With a qualified instructor, the instructor can be a licensed driving instructor or a person who currently holds and has held a driver's license of 4 years or more in the class of license specified on your learner's permit. You'll be required to pay a logbook fee at the time the logbook is issued to you.
So that's $18.40, thank you.
You must complete your logbook accurately and honestly, as legal consequences may apply to you if you provide false or misleading information. If licensing centre staff can tell your logbook entries are false, those entries will not be counted and you'll need to redo them and you can be prosecuted. You are encouraged to do as many hours of supervised driving experience as possible, and the logbook must be signed by your instructor. You must continue to display L plates when driving. You may drive up to a maximum speed of 100 kilometers per hour, where permissible, and still cannot drive in Kings Park. Step 5. Take the hazard perception test after 6 months. You cannot undertake the hazard perception test until a mandatory 6-month period has elapsed since passing your practical driving assessment. You have reached 17 years of age and you have completed a minimum 25 hours of supervised driving and recorded such in your logbook. This test will be used to determine your ability to assess traffic situations and to make safe driving decisions. The test consists of a computer screen that displays a series of moving traffic scenes. You will have to respond to each scene by clicking a mouse to indicate when it is safe to commence a maneuver. The recorded response time will then be compared to the recommended response time required to pass the test. In some situations, there may not be any hazards and therefore no response will be required. To get a copy of this booklet or a demonstration CD, phone licensing on 13 11 56. Step 6. Pay the fee for your provisional license.
Congratulations, you passed.
Once you have successfully completed the hazard perception test, you are eligible to get your provisional license, or P plates. Before you're issued with your provisional license, you are required to have your photo taken and pay for your license. You'll be on P plates for 2 years, or until you are 19 years of age, whichever is the longest period. And while you can drive without a supervisor, you must obey certain conditions. Thus, you must be aware of the following. It is illegal to drive without displaying your P plates at all times. It is illegal to drive with a blood alcohol level above 0.00%. Thus, you cannot drink alcohol and drive. You cannot drive between midnight and 5 a.m. during the first 6 months. Committing certain driving offences could mean you automatically lose your license. For the first 6 months, you must obey nighttime restrictions. Different coloured P plates will distinguish between those provisional license holders who can or cannot drive because of nighttime restrictions. Those provisional license holders who are subject to the nighttime restrictions will need to display P plates with a white P on a red background. If you violate this 6-month nighttime driving restrictions by driving between these prohibited hours, you will be deemed to be an unlicensed driver.
Leon says not until she's be home before midnight, doesn't she? Yeah,
that's fine.
There are employment and educational exceptions for nighttime restrictions. One of the most common situations for provisional drivers who want to drive at night includes provisional drivers who are shift workers, who work nights or get off work at night time. Thus, a provisional driver can drive between midnight and 5 a.m. if they are driving to or from their home to their place of work by the shortest possible route, or driving is required as part of their work duties, or they are driving to or from a place of education or training where they are enrolled for tuition. A provisional driver should also carry proof of their nighttime employment or educational training, such as a letter from their employer or educational institution. As a provisional license holder, and after you have finished the 6-month period of nighttime restrictions, you will need to display P plates with a white P on a green background for the remainder of the provisional period. Once this period has been completed, you will be driving with a full driving license.
Thanks, Mum. That concludes the video for getting a license in Western Australia. Safe driving.